Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Broyans Farm. I'm gonna start off today by seeding our first batch of tomatoes for the field. I just got my trays ready, got my tags on. Some of the varieties are like Red Deuce, Primo Red, and Red Morning. The reason we plant 2 batches throughout the season is because if we plant them all at once, then about halfway to 3/4 of the way through the season, the tomatoes start to die off and you're not getting near as many. So that way, when these first ones start to die down, the next batch is coming on, and then that'll help us finish out the season. And that's usually about till frost. I'm actually getting kind of excited because as far as seeding flowers for the greenhouse goes, I'm just about done. I still have pickles, cucumbers, zucchini, stuff like that to seed, and then that's about it. Besides what I have to do yet for the field, which will be our mid and late season batch of cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, all that kind of stuff. The tomatoes are done now, so I'm gonna move on to the cucumbers and zucchini. Got a bunch of my seeds right here, just figuring out what I want to plant. And we're gonna put them in these 3201s. A 3201 means there's 32 individual cells, and you can just pull them apart individually. That way, if you want to buy 4, you can buy 4, but if you only want to buy 1, well, then you can just take 1. We started using these trays last year, and they worked out really well. The customers really liked them. So this year we got a bunch more. Just like our other inserts, they'll just go right inside a flat, and then we'll fill it with dirt and plant it. Now, I obviously cannot use my seeder because I don't have a tray that'll match with these holes. And also we put 3 seeds in each one. I'm gonna start off by planting Eureka, which is a pickling cucumber. Now this pack is from last year, so I might have to get a new one. And so what I'll do is I'll just put a bunch of these seeds in my hand. And I'll just put 3. I tried and space them out a little bit, kind of like a triangle formation in each one. And then I'll go back through and press them down in. I actually don't do this much. Usually Sammy and my dad do it. And if I get 4, I'll just take one out and move it to a different one. So now their seeds are ready to get pushed down in and then covered back up. Sammy came, she's helping now. Right now she's working on Senator, which is a green zucchini. These seeds are a lot bigger than the cucumbers. And then you can see how many plots we've gotten done now. These are all pickling. We have the bush crop here. Back there is the tasty green, which is a burpless cucumber. Over here is the straight 8s. And then we have the market more. And like I said, then she's gonna bring in the green zucchini and the yellow zucchini, and then we're gonna call it a night. So here we are now the next day. It's a lot colder and kind of gloomy out, which is kind of nice because it gives us a little break here in the greenhouse. Today is Tuesday, and Mom just told me that we're planning on going to market this Saturday at Saylorsburg, which is the Blue Ridge Flea Market. And that's a good thing because our greenhouses are so full, we don't really know what to do with stuff. You can see like right here we have a little bit of a pocket, but really we shouldn't, because these flats that have 10 in each one should really be spaced because they're getting bigger. We just haven't gotten quite around to doing that. But anyway, besides a little hole here and there, there's no more room, and most of this stuff is ready for sale. Just on this lot right here, we have two different kinds of coleuses, and then we have the petunias right here in the 4.5-inch pots. We still have tens of thousands of seedlings to plant yet. This whole table, and then this half of this whole table. The zonal geraniums are just about to start blooming. You can see them all budded up. There's pink, red, light pink, dark pink, purple, all sorts of colors. That's this whole side. And then right below them is the Gerbers. They're really starting to flower now. You can see the yellow and pink, orange. Back there is red, all sorts of different variations of colors. The petunia hanging baskets are ready to go, nice and green. The New Guinea impatiens are also very close. We would like these to bush up a little more, but as far as flowering goes, as you can see, there's a lot of them. The rosemary is just about where we want it. It could get a little bigger, but that's just the right size. Prince tuts are really getting close. Then the other grasses we have here are the fireworks. Everybody asks if the Prince tut and the fireworks, and I think the new red fire that we have are perennials, but they're not. They're just annuals. Down here is the 4.5-inch potted Calibacopa. They're ready to go. You can see all the different colors of them as well. Fuchsias haven't started flowering yet, but they're not too far off. We'll probably take some of them. This is the second batch of Inca. You can see how much they're starting to vine, but the other ones that are over in that corner over there are a lot bigger. I'll show you them in a couple minutes. These last year didn't do too good for us, and we must have did a lot better job this year because they're really, really nice dark green leaves. And according to the tag, which I'm not 100% sure, it says it's called a euphorbia. Maybe there's a different name for it, but that's what the tag says. These Goldilocks are new for us this year. Really doing nice. And we have a couple out at our market, and they're already starting to sell. I have a feeling they're going to be pretty popular. We have more New Guinea impatiens down here. These two varieties are not blooming yet, but these ones are, same as in the hanging baskets. And then this variety down here is also blooming as well. Sometimes you'll see a yellow leaf here and there, and that is because they probably got dry at one time or another. The plants are still beautiful, really nice and healthy, but that's why we try not to let them get wilty even once. Over here we have the sweet potato vine. These are actually very dry. They need water right now. They're just starting to get a little tad bit wilty. Here's the black or purple, whatever you want to call it, which are very dry as well. On rainy days like this, you have to be very careful because if you overwater, it can kind of hurt or injure the plant and it won't do as good then later on. Another big seller is these apricot begonias. And you can kind of see why, they're just really beautiful. This is a different and new variety of begonia that we're growing this year. There's a ton of flowers on them. Mom, the sweet potato vines are very, very dry. They need water.
Which ones?
The potted ones. I don't know how well you can see it through the camera, but this is what I love to see right here. Just nice, dark green, healthy plant, shooting out all over the place. If we need to trim it, we will. Hasn't started flowering yet, but when it does, it'll look just like this one right here. These celosia here are new this year. I guess it's their nature to look this pale. We've fertilized them, we've done everything that we think they need, but I'm not a big fan of them. You guys can tell me what you think. We'll see how they sell this year. If they don't go good, we obviously will not grow them again, but maybe some people will love them. Sonettis are just starting to come out in flower. Right there's the first one. We have like a dark purple or a blue, and then the purple, but the purple aren't coming out yet. And then right here's the vinca vine I was telling you about. You can see how much bigger they are and how much more they're vining. And then over here are some more New Guineas, a different color. The hanging basket tomatoes are very ready for sale. You can see all the different flowers on them, so many different bud clusters, and even some baby little tomatoes. I'll just do a little walkthrough of the hanging baskets. Down here's the verbena, we have the red, the pink, down here's the purple, which are blooming a lot more. And then on the end here is the limona, which is supposed to be like a Centenarium, I guess. Again, these are new for this year. Now we'll head over into number 2, which is mostly flats, couple pots, and the same amount of hanging baskets. Here's some pansies. Mom's probably getting ready to take them out to the market. Here's some pansy, viola, and I can't remember the name of these planters. The flats of petunias over here are just starting to come out in flower. You can see all the different colors, the red, the dark purple. We like to organize stuff in sections like all the petunias and all the basil and all the marigolds, but because we kind of ran out of room and we're just trying to put stuff everywhere now, things are kind of mixed in. And you can see that right here. We have petunias, we have lettuce, we have kale, tomatoes. Over here is cabbage. Back there is flowering vinca. These are just starting to come out in flower too as well. And they look like they need some water. Over here is the impatiens. Here's some ageratums. The salvia. Coleus. On the left side here is fennel. This is all of like our herbs. Thyme, lavender, parsley, sage. Right in that row right there is the snapdragons, basil, zinnias. And then we have our second and third plantings. Like right here is more snapdragons and peppers. Back here in the back is portulacas. We have some Thai basil right there. And then here's the second batch of portulacas. Here's some more pansies and violas. The marigolds are really looking good now. You can see all the different colors. Right here is all potted tomatoes, and they're getting to the point now where they need to be staked. That's what Mom was actually working on today. There's a Juliet. Here's a Juliet. This is all peppers back through there. There's like our super hots, which is like our Thai hots, which aren't really that hot, but then we have like the Ghost and Trinidad Scorpion. Here we have more lettuce. And then we get into all of our sunflowers, which we have, I think, 5 batches of sunflowers going on right now. You can see some are out in blossom. Some aren't quite there yet. They're very small. These here were just planted a couple days ago. Back here in the back, we have our lupines. Up above them is some of my favorite hanging baskets so far this year. This one with the sweet potato vine, I think, is my favorite. These tomatoes here are high tunnel tomatoes. We already planted the first one, which I'm about to go out and show you. And then here is our candy and sweet Spanish onions that are all for retail sales. And then all the onions on these 2 tables are for the field. Last year when we grew dahlias, they didn't do very well for us. I don't know if we didn't take care of them right or what happened, but this year they are about picture perfect. We're so proud of them. You can see all the different colors, how healthy they look. This one's one of my favorites right here. Then of course we have some zinnias. This is everybody's favorite, I think. And then last but not least is like the spikes, more calibracopa. We have some dianthus here, which haven't come out in flower yet. Some gazanias, more dianthus over there that are flowering, and some new potted hanging basket tomatoes. And here's the high tunnel tomatoes. If you've been keeping up on the videos, you'll know that I came through here, tilled all this, then laid the drip tape, then me and Sammy laid the fabric, and then Sammy, which I didn't get any video of sadly, got all the tomatoes planted, and then I came back through and fertilized them all. And then Dad came in this morning and finished setting up all the drip tape and got it hooked up to the header line, which is back there, and now we can water it all underneath the ground. The tomatoes were obviously very nice when we planted them, and then they kind of go through a little bit of transplant shock. They kind of wilt down, bend over a little bit. And some of these are actually bent a little more because the wind, before we got rocks out there, which was like yesterday, came up under, lifted the fabric, and then kind of covered the tomato. So we had to pull them all back out, and they're coming back around now, but slowly but surely. And now they should kind of be on their way, especially since they got that fertilizer mixture that I gave them. And now tonight is supposed to be, I think, like 35 or something like that. So what we did was put this heater and another heater down there. That way we can keep it just above freezing in here. We don't really care that much to keep it 70 like in our greenhouses, but we just can't have it freezing to where it's going to kill our tomatoes. And right here is the header line hooked up to the drip tape. And actually, Dad has them watering right now. You can see it's kind of at a low PSI right now. It should be like 10 to 12. Mom could also be using the water in the greenhouse, which might affect it. Hi, pups. Because the greenhouses are too full, we actually had to take some stuff out that can take this colder weather and put it on wagons. So right here is our early season cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, all that kind of stuff. And as you can see, it was just planted not that long ago. Very small. But with it only being 35 to 40 degrees right now with wind chill, it's not harmed at all. And then back here, in the other end of the shed, is our new concrete. It's still, like I said, drying, so we're not driving anything on it. I got to do a little bit of work around our drains. We taped them off so nothing would go down in them. But now you can see the concrete kind of came over the edge. So I think I'm going to take my little rotary tool and cut that off, make it really nice. But I am very, very happy with how the pour went. Everybody that helped me did a great job. I didn't really know what I was doing when I came into this. I've learned a lot. I wouldn't say I really manned the job, but I kind of tried getting everybody together and made everything work how it should be. Having the sliding doors made it a little more complicated, and I'll show you what we did here, if I can get this latch off. So usually if you would have a big garage door, it would just come down, close, and that would be it. But because we have a sliding door, and we didn't want to have a channel, because it can build up with snow and ice, and then you can't get your doors open. So what we did was put a lip here on the back so the doors can't swing in, and then we just made a 2-foot lip on the outside here, so that way the doors can't go back and forth, but we don't have a channel going along the whole thing, just in that center section there, which makes it really, really nice. And now we don't have to worry about having this metal thing that we used to have in the middle, right here. Sometimes those corners would stick out, it would be sharp. We'd worry about cutting a tire on it, and if somebody didn't close the doors right, the doors would swing back and forth a lot, which wasn't good. And now that it's done, the nicest part is we can take our bins or pallets, whatever it is, and wheel them out here. We can back our truck in, drop the lift gate, wheel them right on. Instead of having the lift gate half on that concrete, half off, in the dirt, everything's getting muddy. It just kind of was a nuisance, and now everything should be so much nicer. I just cannot wait till we start loading truck. That's what I'm calling it a wrap this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and always remember it ain't much, but it's honest work.